Moving on from abortion, should we talk about licking assholes on college campuses?
Finally.
Yes. Folks, Rod Dreher is back at it again. And I just, he's been on a hot streak, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring up his latest in the American Conservative, titled Heine Lickers of Princeton. Rod writes, a non-faculty source at Princeton University, one of the crown jewels of American higher education, sent me these flyers that RAs approved to students. Okay, now it's like this very sort of millennial-style graphic design here, and it says, for free, safer sex supplies without the awkwardness. Delivered directly and discreetly. Choose your own sexual adventure. Fill out the form and choose from 6 unique options to receive a safer sex kit, which is catered to your needs. So let's go on to choose your own sexual adventure. So first sexual adventure, butt stuff. If you choose the butt stuff sexual adventure, you get an internal condom, unflavored external condoms, flavored dental dams, flavored lube, unflavored lube.
An internal condom?
I think that's like a female condom.
Like a female condom, I guess.
They still make those?
Talk about evil inventions in modernity. That old plastic bag.
And of course, it's the butt stuff that Rod is going to get onto here, because of course the inclusion of flavored and unflavored lube would seem to imply that you're licking someone's asshole.
In health class, it was very funny when they would talk about safe sex, and the teacher would introduce the dental dam. Because I remember being like 14 and a virgin and being like, nobody uses that.
Yeah,
and now we use them every day.
Right.
You're right. Yeah. Other sexual adventures you can choose are slip and slide. For slip and slide, you get 3 flavored lubes, 3 unflavored lubes, and 3 unflavored external condoms.
Okay. By external condoms, does he mean the female condom?
External condoms would be the traditional male condom.
Okay, yeah. He should just. Oh, okay. Are they doing? Is that they're doing like woke language thing, like a academic thing where they're like, oh,
yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. I see where this is going.
And I'm just trying to, because butt stuff, that's obvious what sexual adventure you're choosing. But slip and slide, like, what is that? You get a lot of lube, and I'm imagining you actually have like an actual slip and slide that's greased with lube, and you just run down it and then just like splash into someone whose legs are open at the bottom.
That's a thing
of your dorm room hall.
That's an icebreaker, I think, in a lot of freshman dorms.
That's how you get tapped into Skull and Bones. If your friend slips and slides and his head goes all the way into your asshole, you're tapped in.
Next up is oral fixation, for which you will receive 3 flavored dental dams and 4 flavored external condoms. I mean, just the whole flavored condom thing.
What do you need to be tasting
really
things for?
Yeah.
Focus on what's happening in front of you. Don't be thinking about like, I don't know, this doesn't really taste like raspberry.
It's like when you go to the dentist office and they're gonna like clean your teeth and they're like, what flavor of toothpaste would you like as we grind it into your fucking teeth and gums? It's like, I don't know, the one with the least amount of flavor.
Yeah,
like, the fact that it tastes like bubble gum is not going to make this experience any better.
I feel the same thing when the dentist makes me suck his cock with a It's like, just fine, get it over with. I think that the alarming thing here is that like even undergraduates are doing sex nerd stuff.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Come on, guys. That's for 35-year-old computer guys and their wives.
It feels like most people who are culturally conservative are like, I don't care what consenting adults do. Just don't like hold hands on the street. And then Rod is like, no, I care. Here's what.
Yeah.
No,
He definitely cares.
Like
next sexual adventure is latex-free, for which you will receive 3 internal condoms, 4 latex-free external condoms, and 3 unflavored lubes. I guess they're just giving you the old sheep's bladders if you're allergic to latex. Next is wrap it up. 3 flavored external condoms, 3 unflavored external condoms, 3 unflavored lubes, and then finally manual play, which you get something called 5 finger cots, 3 gloves, and 3 unflavored. Okay, if we're just talking about getting hand jobs, I don't think you need to be giving college or high school students protection of any kind, other than maybe lube or just spit.
Yeah, no. So the finger, like, protection
what are
for finger banging,
cots?
they're like little beanies that you put on your finger to finger bang. But it's
is it to enhance the pleasure of getting a hand job, or is it to protect you from like sexually transmitted diseases?
It's like, I don't want to. If this is you're getting finger banged by like a chimney sweep or something, well, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, I
so
feel
you
like
don't get a cold.
I feel like the real issue here that Rod could pursue, if he was a more normal guy, would be like, big condom is getting kids addicted to their products.
Yes. I mean, I just like in analyzing all 6 of these sexual adventures, it seems like only 2 of them refer to actual sex acts that like are sexual preferences, like butt stuff or oral sex. The rest of them are like just having condoms, and like all of these sexual adventures could be catered to by just making condoms and lube available. I don't get what this whole boutique thing is, but hey, it's Princeton. These kids pay a lot of money to go there. But of course, that is what Rod is fixated on. So Rod sees this menu of sexual license, and he writes here, "I know it makes me out to be an old coot, but so what? Is this what the American elite have become? Do people send their kids to Princeton, tuition, room, board, fees, $74,190, to have the university's agents encourage them to lick each other's butts? Because that's what's happening. This really is a tell. The U.S. ruling class is increasingly degenerate, don't you think? It's not that butt licking and other perversions were unknown prior to today. It's that one of the most important universities in the world is now encouraging what one imagines are among the most intelligent students in the world to amuse themselves by licking each other's butts and offer to provide them with the setups to do so." I mean, the setup to do so is just having a tongue and an asshole.
Yeah, we're already licking butts, Rod.
I don't know why all this gear needs to be involved here.
That's why they call it a desert island activity.
He's like, I know writing this will make people think I'm some kind of secret pervert who has a bunch of perverted thoughts. I don't care.
Right,
he doesn't care. That's why I love Rod more than any other writer.
Yeah.
I do like that he says, like, oh, you probably think I'm an old coot for this. And it's like, no, I think you're jacking off.
I think you're an old Rod.
Freak. Yeah.
Yeah. Once upon a time, people looked up to the Ivy League as representative of the best of America. And now, in Princeton's case, they're determined to carry out a campaign to drive out impressive scholars for standing up to neo-racist progressive initiatives. And they're engaged in grooming behavior to encourage students to act out sexual scenarios they've seen in porn clips. I mean, if they're already of college age, I think like the grooming allegation rings a little hollow. I mean, if they're being encouraged to act out these sexual scenarios with their professors, fair enough. Get that sicko shit out of here. But I mean, like, what he's talking about is, young Ivy League undergrads who are, young, filled with the vigor of life, and, may be given to sexual experimentation at that age, as is, as all kids are. College, Ivy League or not.
I mean, if anything, I feel like less of them are going to do, like, just the fact that, like, your school is giving out the stuff makes you less likely to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. The finger thing is just like, it's very disturbing to me. Like, these not in the way that Rod thinks it so, but like, what if you're a Rod type person? Like, not, I won't say Rod type person. What if you're religious and your religion says that it's like you go to hell if you use a condom, but that also women have to take the pill? It's a very specific type of Judaism that you're a part of that maybe only I subscribe to now. It's a scary time to be religious on campus, especially if you're not a student.
Because this is your American ruling class in 2021. And yet, how many normie Americans would still send their kids to Princeton because they want their kid to be credentialed by an Ivy League school and to be launched into the elite of elites social class? How many conservative Americans would do that? Most of them, I would wager. We conservatives can be hypocritical about this stuff. We will read stuff in the conservative media about how rotten the elite universities are and how nearly all of academia is ruining itself with wokeness. And we will nod along with suggestions that our kids might be better off with a trade school education than a college degree. But if you're that kind of conservative and your kid comes to you and suggests that trade school might be a better fit for him than college, you might as well blow a gasket and say, no, son, you have to go to college because reasons. The real reason is that trade school is considered a step down in social class. First of all, Rod is like, I don't know, 60, I guess. He should not be saying things like normies in his article.
Yeah.
My son got into Princeton. Looks like he's not getting into heaven.
And it's just like, obviously like the the corniness and the sort of cringe of these stupid choose your own sexual adventures and all the flavored lubes that really have no purpose for existing in the first place is kind of stupid. But I mean, colleges have been, safe sex has been a thing that's been promoted in our culture for a long time, and it's just like. Does Rod think that in the 50s, like kids who went to college weren't doing butt stuff or like sucking each other off or fucking?
Just weren't doing it in a dork way, in a cringy, nerdy ass way with fucking accessories and shit.
Yeah, but like, is Rod annoyed by the accessories, or is he annoyed by the ass licking?
He's annoyed by the school giving them the stuff, the school like acknowledging it, and that is a different thing than the school just being like, all right, kids are going to do what you're going to do, but keep it discreet. There is a difference between that and then being like, here are some sex toys for you. Go nuts. Like, it is a more active validation of the behavior.
Okay.
It does kind of feel like our generation invented ass licking, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think they were licking each other's assholes in the 50s, probably. Because I think like oral sex was invented in probably 1986. And ass licking is like
true.
Boomers invented oral sex. Yeah.
Yeah. Oral sex was actually invented during Iran-Contra to distract Americans.
Right.
And every man who thinks he likes it has been fooled. And it's probably a worse crime even than circumcision.
He goes, Rod continues, this happened to me recently. My middle son is 17. He's a smart kid, makes good grades, but he prefers working with his hands and prefers to be outdoors.
I bet he does.
Prefers working with his finger cups.
Yeah. My son built my goon shack for me.
And he remembers the lecture.
My son put an addition on a highway rest stop. He built a separate room.
Oh yeah. What's your son doing? Playing video games? Well, look at this. My son created an entire 6-foot tunnel beneath our outhouse where an adult man could stand with his mouth open.
He goes, and he remembers the lecture my late father gave to him a decade ago. The one I heard 1,000 times as a kid, in which my dad railed about how he really wanted to go to trade school, but his parents guilted him into going to college, and how he resented his desk job from day one until retirement. My son said he thinks he might be happier going to trade school and learning how to work on equipment. This brings him pleasure. He bought his first car recently, a pickup truck, and he loves working on it. It could be that he is mistaking enthusiasm for working on his truck for a sign of a vocation in the trades. We'll see over the next year. He's got a year and a half left in high school. But I told him that if he discerns that trade school is better for him, then I will support that path forward. I can't be a hypocrite who chronicles the decline of American universities by day, but who would nevertheless insist that my son get a college degree when he doesn't want to go to college, but instead wants to learn how to fix machines and build things. If I had a child at Princeton and found out that the university was handing out hiney licking kits to them, I would be on the phone to the university president to raise hell. Think about
Rod's on the phone and he's like, we don't do that anywhere but my house.
I want my son to go to trade school where people learn to fuck correctly. Missionary style penis and vagina sex.
And I learned how to give back shots at HVAC school.
And if you go to trade school, particularly if if you're working on auto mechanics or engineering of any kind, there's no need to provide lube because your hands are already well greased at the end of the day. You can just slide it right up the butthole. He goes, and he says, think about what a gift this is to the Chinese and Russians.
He means they're just literally the condoms. They're just sending people in their illegals program to just scoop up as many as possible in their arms and run back to China. They don't have flavored condom technology yet.
They haven't figured out dental dams in Russia yet.
Yeah.
At one of the premier institutions of higher learning, provide help and material assistance to turn the leadership class of tomorrow into a claque of butt lickers and oral fetishists who are too fragile to hear arguments that make them anxious. I mean, I don't know, why is one connected to the other? He's turning the ruling elite of America into ass lickers. It's like, well, if they got into Princeton, guess what? They were already an ass licker.
I do like the way that those bleed together, though, because it's like, oh yeah, they're fucked up, pervert, degenerates, and they also won't hear arguments from people like me.
Yeah, yeah.
They won't hear an older man who's still pretty handsome say, "Why don't you let me do that? Why don't you fill my asshole with that dental foam and just lick it out, and then leave a mold inside my ass, and then I will get down on my stomach on a floor, and you can just stand with both the balls of your feet on my asshole, pressing my nuts into the floor. They won't hear that argument.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's this idea that if kids are encouraged to, if college students are encouraged to practice sort of boutique sexual practices, which, you know, oral sex is not exactly a boutique sexual practice, not at this point. Like, it'll make them into, I don't know, fragile, degenerate adults or something. I once again, like, I don't know the connection in Rod's brain between having sex or having sex in ways that is not approved by him personally and this sort of like decline of Western civilization.
Yeah, does he think people in China like aren't fucking?
Yeah, but they're not licking each other's assholes, or they're not sucking dick, they're not eating pussy, they're not doing the shocker.
They're just bouncing a ball together until they come.
There is a Shang Dynasty vase from 10,000 BC that depicts felching.
Did the Roman Empire? It all began to go tits up for them as soon as they discovered squirting.
Yeah.
As soon as they discovered that the G-spot thing you can do, it was like, the Huns were at the gates.
But that's like the people.
And I think Rod does believe that, though. I think he believes that people who have are less sexually inclined are like sort of stronger, purer, more virile in a way.
If you had to bet money, do you think he like sends his son to trade school though? I think no.
Yeah.
There's no way. No fucking way.
Absolutely not.
No, yeah, that's the rub with Rod. Is that like
Rod's son is going to work at a gay steel mill?
yeah. That is the rub with Rod, that he's like, calls all this stuff out. And he does like even sort of allude to that in this article where he's like, oh yeah, we talk about how bad college is, but we all send our kids there. But it's like beyond just like sending his kid there, no one is more of like a fruity cosmopolitan than Rod.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that Budapest garden party article where the guy told him about how Blue's Clues is woke. One of the best articles I've ever read.
And also, like, nobody on the planet is more obsessed about college than Rod Dreher. And not just college, but elite Ivy League institutions.
Riled up.
Yeah.
How can he have like vicarious enjoyment of all of his son's experiences of the decadent perversions?
They if Rod is really worried, he should send his son to ASU, because like if you do anything but doggy style, they expel you like it's holding hands at Liberty.
I mean, I think you're going out on a limb to suggest that Rod would be okay with doggy style.
Oh yeah, no, he probably thinks doggy style that they like started that in 1998.
He's like degenerate elites watch their dogs, and that's how they learned about how to have sex.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn kids into animals or something like that.
Just look at all the positions. Look, it's right in the name, reverse cowgirl. It's saying that the woman should do the job while the man stays home and eats soy.
It's reversing a gender hierarchy.
Exactly.
I don't think he'd be okay with cowgirl. Period.
No,
I think
none of them. Pretty much none of them. I think like soaking would be the only thing he thinks is good.
I think any sex that is pleasurable, exciting, or fulfilling for an individual to experiment or engage in is, I think, a threat to Rod's view of society. I think he views pleasurable sex of any kind, or like the increasing social acceptance that sex should be pleasurable for both parties, or that there's a wide variety of sexual practice outside soaking that is enjoyable and fun for both people to do. I think he genuinely regards that as like the single greatest threat to civilization itself. And like the more fun people are having sex, like the quicker we will slide into a new age of barbarism and darkness, essentially.
But I guess what's the final thing that's like fucking weird to me about this is like getting mad about like the Princeton condom thing as like that's what's going to cause degeneracy. It's like that is like the social conservative equivalent of being like, oh, you use a reusable coffee filter or else the environment's going to fall apart. Like, what is it? That seems like a drop in the bucket compared to anything else. Like, if that's such a big deal, then the war's already lost. What are you going to do?
Yeah, wait till Rod finds out about Cardi B.
Yeah.
And I mean, he uses that word degeneracy in this article, the degeneracy of the American elites, the degenerate American elite. And it's a word that's very in vogue with conservatives and sort of the new right nowadays. And it used to refer only to gay people, but I think now degenerate just refers to like anyone who has sex. It just refers to like pussy gettas of all varieties, pussy and ass gettas of all varieties. Because I think for whatever reason, it's like if I had to make a case for the degeneracy of the American ruling class, the fact that they're doing butt stuff on their own free time would not make the top 100.
Yeah, this is, if anything, an improvement. Like it's adults doing it to each other.
So there we go. That's Rod on modern elite ass licking techniques. But if I can agree with Rod for just a second, get rid of all these flavored lubes and condoms. Just get the fuck out of here with that.
Focus on the sex, for God's sakes. Quit trying to be freaking Tom Colicchio over here when you're having sex.
I'll tell you what's always bugged me is like sexy cosplay, like when hot women dress up like superheroes or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think
that doesn't do it for you.
I just think I should go away. Like, is the lady not? Do you need her to dress up like Spider-Man to get hard? Like the idea of like nerds enjoying that bothers me. Like, it's not enough. I've tried to talk about this on stage so many times, and I can't seem to articulate what bothers me about it so much.
It should be like a sexy lady in a sexy outfit should be good enough. It shouldn't just be like, enough. Oh, she's Cortana from Halo.
Right.
That's really hot, though. Like, all the other ones are stupid, but you just named the one hot one.
I guess if she dressed up like Arthur Morgan from Red Dead, that'd be kind of hot. A big titted Arthur Morgan
who dies of consumption.
Yeah.
I wonder if
you got some dick for me, boy. Wow.
Oh. I wonder if there's ever been like a history nerd, like a Civil War guy
Matt?
who like made if Matt did this, like if Matt had $1 billion that he would get like the hottest one in the world to like dress up like General Meade. I don't know. Do you do that? I've never asked you.
I would never do it with mead. Come on.
Yeah. Phil Sheridan, though, you would, right?
Absolute replacement level general. Get out of here with that. Now we're talking maybe George Thomas. Okay. Rock of Chickamauga. Now we're talking.
Who are your top 5 sexiest Civil War generals off the dome? I
mean, it's annoying because he was terrible, but McClellan really did look like he was poured into that uniform. I gotta say, Grant is handsome, and
Sherman was a good-looking guy, I guess. Right?
Sherman, especially when you remember that he had like bright red hair, very striking. Robert E. Lee, you don't think you look at him and you're like he's just an old guy with a beard, but at the contemporary moment, people would always, when they were describing him, just stop to talk about how fucking hot he was. People couldn't get over how hot Robert E. Lee was.
Okay.
You heard it here first. Matt into Confederacy cosplay. Done. End the episode. Clip that.
Grant, I feel like, had like a certain like later career Gerard Butler swag.
Yeah. Just rumpled, hungover.
Yeah. What about that guy, Hancock?
Oh yeah, Winfield Scott Hancock. Yeah, he was pretty dashing. He had a mustache and everything.
You know what occurred to me? Oral sex of the junior varsity and varsity varieties, whether you're the primary genital area or the asshole style area, that's probably a more modern sexual practice because everyone was so fucking dirty back then. It was just like the opportunities to bathe and clean your asshole were like few and far between. So getting that up close and personal with one would probably be not the most appetizing thing to imagine, like pre early 90s.
Well, it wasn't sexual until the 90s. It was like a platonic thing. Two soldiers would do it to each other.
They would clean each other's buttholes. If
you read those letters between like Confederates, where it's like, oh, I can't wait to do that again. But that's just like, it's like monkeys grooming each other. It was how you helped your friend.
It's so cool you guys had Oliver Stone on last week. now we're just talking about licking asshole.
He should do a movie about that.
He should.
About how they invented oral sex, like during Reagan.
Yeah.
It was Fawn Hall invented it, actually.
Yeah. Check this out.
All right. Well, hopefully we've got you nice and horned up, thinking about, guys with mutton chops licking each other's assholes. But that'll have to tide you over until next time. I want to thank Mike Recine for being on the show today. Mike, if people would like more of you, your podcast, your stand-up, just they want more Mike Recine in their life, where should they go?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Recine.Mike.